begin this officially?
Sir, I had a question. How
Yes.
do we choose the leader? Because all of us are new and we don't know each other.
All right, right, good. Now, what you can do is you can just look at the link at the, what do you call them? You at the participants list, okay? And then if everyone has marked their names, has changed their name to either, what do you call it? If you marked yourself, for example, like me, Jacob for or Amanda against, then what you can do is you can look at the list and you can just nominate somebody. Or what we can do is we, the judges, can nominate somebody to be the leader. In fact, that will be the fastest way of doing this. So we are going to nominate the leader, and then the leader will be given 4 minutes time to speak, and then he or she will be also given 3 minutes to give the closing remarks, but the leaders will not be given any marks for closing the statement. So at the end, after everybody has spoken, the leaders will be given 3 more minutes in which to give the closing remarks, which means that you will have to sum up everything that members of your bench have spoken about, or the arguments. You can summarize the arguments, and then you can go ahead and give your summary for 3 minutes. So that will be 2 minutes plus 1. So 2 minutes plus 1, and in fact, we will not be judging you for the concluding remarks. You can make your statements and you can give your conclusion.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Any more questions before we begin? We will begin officially. This is going to be a very interesting debate, so we would like to start. If you have any more questions before we start officially, you can ask your questions now. Just a minute. I would just like to check if all our judges are here. Ma'am Amanda, are you there? Yes. Ma'am Dayo?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Hi. Good to see you. And then Erin Benny?
Yes, sir.
All
Hello,
right, very good.
everyone.
Very great, very good, very good. All right. So let us begin officially. I would like to begin by first of all welcoming you to this debate.
Sir,
yes, yes.
Okay, we're not live yet, so if you can just wait for my cue.
Oh, sure, sure. All right.
Okay, all right.
So let's do this. If the debaters are willing, and if they agree, the judges will decide the leader for the Treasury bench and the leader for the, what do you call him, for the opposition bench. So if you guys are okay, we will do that. You can you can unmute yourself and then say yes if you like it. That we will do that. We will choose a leader for your benches.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we will do this. We will like to request our judges to kindly choose a leader. You can nominate somebody, and somebody's name can be put up, and then we will go ahead and start our debate. Judges, can you suggest anybody's name, somebody's name? Okay.
I mean, how do we do that democratically?
I don't know. You can nominate names, and then we will see if the names pop up again, or we can just second that. It'll be just give a name and we can just second that. In fact, that is something that we can do.
So can we ask anyone to volunteer if they're ready? If not, then
good. Yeah, that's also a good way of doing it. All right. So anybody who's standing for the motion can volunteer. Anybody standing against the motion can volunteer.
I would like to volunteer myself for the motion.
I would like to go.
Hang on, Sir Jacob. Students, can you please use the chat box? You can probably state your your name, and then that'll be better so that the panelists can read. Otherwise, if you put on your audio, it'll be a bit confusing.
Yes. All right. So just type your name on the chat box. Who would like to volunteer to be the leader of the Treasury bench? For the motion, can you please suggest? Can you please nominate yourself? Okay. So we've got 2 names. So Snigdha Saikia volunteering to be the leader of the opposition bench, and Abhinav Das volunteering for the motion. Will this be okay?
Fine by me, sir.
Yes, all right, great.
Yes, sir,
all right.
it will be okay.
So judges, please write down the names of the leaders of the benches. Abhinav Das volunteering for the motion, and Snigdha Saikia volunteering to be the leader of the opposition bench. So Nathaniel, are we ready?
Okay, sir. So just wait for my cue, and then we will start in probably 2 minutes.
All right. In the meantime, can I find, oops.
So Nat,
Yes, sir. Yes.
have you gone live?
No, not yet.
Okay. I have started recording here on my computer. You're doing the same also?
Yes, yes, sir.
Fine, fine. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Sir Jacob, the time is
Yes.
yours. No?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I request everyone to please have your audio on mute. You can have your video on. So Jacob, please wait for my cue because we need to go on live on YouTube first. And then once it's live, it takes a few seconds and then I will hand it over to you, sir. Okay, going live now. Over to you, Sir Jacob.
All right. So warm welcome to everybody to this debate competition being held by the Department of Botany to commemorate World Environment Day. And we are very excited to be able to join online with everyone from different parts of the state and I believe from different parts of the country as well, and especially people from the Northeast. So this is going to be an exciting event. We have been looking forward to this for the last many days. And this morning we had a dress rehearsal and we've been able to fix our technology and gadgets and ourselves in preparation for this wonderful event. So without further ado, we are going to start by introducing, first of all, the judges for the debate. And we have with us Professor so she takes care of preparing students for the debate, various debates being conducted by institutions and colleges in the state. And she also prepares students for the debate and so gets them ready. So she is very much well qualified to be one of the judges of our program today. Then we also have with us Professor Dayomika Kharsyntiew, and she is an assistant professor in the Department of Environmental Science. Very qualified also to be on board this panel today because she is teaching the subject and she is aware of a lot of the issues regarding environment. And then we also have with us Miss Erin Benny Humtsoe. She is a graduate of the Department of Political Science, graduated in the year 2020. And the reason why she's on board is because she is a very seasoned debater of the college and has won accolades and awards for many debate competitions that she has participated in. So she is very much experienced in the field of debating, and we will be able to hear also from her later on when we invite our judges to also give their remarks towards the end. So without further ado, I would like to first of all introduce the theme, the motion for this debate, and then I will be reading out the rules and regulations and guidelines, and then we will tell you the criteria by which you will be judged, and then we will go on to my opening remarks on the theme, on the motion, and then we will go on to the debate itself. So the motion of the House, which is being stated in the affirmative, is that the world would be a better place without humans. The world would be a better place without humans. So that is the motion of the debate this afternoon, stated in the affirmative. And we are going to take a look at the rules and regulations, and then we'll go on to the debate. So first of all, let me read out the rules and regulations to you. Please give me a minute, a second, while I look at the rules and regulations and read them out to you. So participants are requested to rename their icon, if possible, that is name for or name against, so that the judges will be able to see your names clearly and identify you accordingly. But since we will not be able to do that, we would like to request all the debaters to state your name and the motion that you are going, whether you're going for the motion or against the motion, so that the judges will be able to identify you clearly, right? So please state your name, class, and the position that you're taking. Microphones and videos of debaters who are not speaking should be muted, so that we can only see the speaker, the one who is supposed to present the argument and present the rebuttal, so that we will be able to focus on that person. So that is important. Debaters will unmute their video and audio when called upon to deliver their rebuttal and argument. So only when you are called upon by me to give your presentation, to give your argument, will you turn on your video and audio, all right? Attendees should have their videos and microphone on mute the whole time. This debate shall not include time for questioning or clarification of points or cross-examination, as in the case of certain debating forums or platforms. The SACMUN follows what is called the UK form of parliamentary debates, where you have a brief minute or duration of time where you can cross-examine the one who is speaking, but we will not follow that, as it will take a lot of time. So we will follow the standard format of doing debates. So please remember this. Debaters shall clearly state their names, class, and position taken, whether it's for or against. Both the benches, Treasury and opposition benches, should elect a leader. So we have done that to deliver their opening remarks and argument. Leaders of both the benches will be given 4 minutes in which to make their statements and 1 minute in which to conclude. They will be given points only for the content delivered within the 4-minute time frame. Anything said after this point will not count towards their total score. So which means that whatever you say within the 4-minute time frame will be counted. Anything you say after that will not be counted. I hope there is a timekeeper that has been appointed by the Department of Botany. If not, I will request them to do so now. I think Sir Emily is there. Sir Kharsyntiew, he can help with appointing a timekeeper for us.
Yes, Sir Jacob.
Yes.
Professor Bokolil has taken that responsibility.
Oh, great, wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
thank you. So each member of both the benches will get 3 minutes in which to deliver the rebuttals and make their arguments. They will get an additional time of 1 minute to close their remarks. So members, you'll get 3 minutes in which to make your statements, and then you'll be counted. Only those statements that you say within the 3 minute time will be counted. Anything you say after that will not be counted by the judges. All debaters will address their remarks to the speaker, which means to me, addressing him as Mr. Speaker, sir. Okay, and then you will not address the judges directly in any way. Then use of unparliamentary phrases and attempts to character assassinate or cast aspersions on any person, race, status, and being of opponents will not be tolerated. So your goal should be to argue against the points made by the opponents. You will not make any kind of negative remarks against the person and being and character of the opponents. 5 marks will be deducted forthwith from the debater who engages in any kind of demeaning practices. It means instead of arguing against the point made by by the opponents, you are attacking the opponents directly. So we will not tolerate that. Judges are to remember that they can deduct 5 marks immediately from any debater who engages in any kind of unparliamentary practice. Now, the criteria by which you will be judged. There are 5 criteria, and each criteria is worth 5 marks. So you'll be judged out of a total value of 25. So we will look at your organization and clarity, then the use of arguments in support of claims, use of examples and facts in support of claims, use of rebuttal against charges made by opponent. Now, this is something that we really need to keep in mind, because the true spirit of debate is in the rebuttal. You must be able to rebut the claims and the charges made by the opposing team, all right? Do not just read the points that you have written down already. That is not a debate, that is a presentation. You must be able to rebut whatever your opponent has said. So that is the spirit of the debate. Then we will also look at the presentation, the style, your voice, your tone, and your expression. So these are the criteria, and I've also read to you the rules and regulations. Now, I am going to make to you my opening remarks based on the motion, and this is in the affirmative, and I would like you to listen carefully before I invite the leader of the Treasury bench and of the opposition bench to make their opening remarks. So here is my opening remarks on this particular motion. We are the creators of life, but we are also its destroyer. On a planetary scale, humans now assert unchallenged dominion over all living things. Our collective power already threatens or overwhelms most of the major forces of nature, from the water cycle to the circulation of major elements like nitrogen and carbon to the entire Earth system. Our pollutants have subtly changed the color of the sky, while our release of 500 billion tons of carbon as the greenhouse gas CO2 into the air is heating up the atmosphere, land, and oceans. We have leveled forests, plowed out the great grasslands, and transformed the continents to serve our demands from sea to shining sea. Our detritus, or waste, gets everywhere, from the highest mountains to the deepest oceans. Abandoned plastic bags drift ghost-like in the unfathomable depths, even kilometers beneath the floating Arctic ice cap. Wherever you look, this truth is there to behold. Pristine nature, creation, has disappeared forever. With close to 7 billion specimens of human sapiens, Homo sapiens, currently in existence, mostly enjoying rising levels of wealth and material consumption, human beings have so far been an evolutionary success story, unprecedented in the entire history of planet Earth. But there is a dark side to this momentous achievement. For the biosphere as a whole, the age of human being has been a catastrophe. Our domestication of the planet's surface to provide crops and animals for ourselves has displaced all competing species to the margins. The Earth is now in the throes of its 6th mass extinction, the worst since the ecological calamity that wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Evolution is about competition, and we have outcompeted them all. I wish I had written these words, but these are not mine. These are words written by Mark Linus in his preface to his book called The God Species, Saving the Planet in the Age of Humans, published by the National Geographic Society. So dear ladies and gentlemen, respected judges, and then the Department of Botany faculties and students who are attending this particular program. The debate is, and the motion is in the affirmative. The world would be a better place without humans. The debate is now open. I would now like to invite the leader of the Treasury bench to present his opening remarks, and his time is 4+1. So Abhinav Das, for the motion, you are invited to come and present your opening remarks.
Thank you, sir. Plans to protect air and water, wilderness, and wildlife are in fact plans to protect man by Stewart Udall. Respected professors and fellow students, good afternoon. We have gathered here to commemorate World Environment Day 2021. This is Abhinav Das from Botany Department, and I stand over here to present my views in favor of the topic. The planet would be a better place without the humans. On 5th June every year, the world celebrates Environmental Day to remind ourselves of the intricate relationship that we share with nature. The theme of this year's World Environment Day is Reimagine, Recreate, Restore, as this year marks the beginning of the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. This year, Pakistan will host WED, that is World Environment Day 2021, in collaboration with the UN Environment Programme. Now, let's go to the basic. What is environmental restoration? Ecosystem restoration means assisting in the recovery of ecosystems that have been degraded or destroyed in the past years, as well as conserving the ecosystems that are still intact. The United Nations General Assembly has proclaimed the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration following a proposal and resolution for action by over 70 countries around the globe. The UN Decade runs from 2021 till 2030, which is also the deadline for the Sustainable Development Goals and timeline scientists have identified as the last chance to prevent catastrophic climate change. Now, the thing is, all of these goals, restoration projects and activities to sustain our environment are in fact plans to protect Homo sapiens, isn't it? Like all these plans and activities. Let me be very blunt this time. This whole agenda is better for whom? Like other species, like apart from Homo sapiens, that is us, other species, they don't comprehend a better world. They may comprehend a better life for themselves or their better offspring, but no other species can actually understand the abstract, that is a better world without humans. Thus, the question is flawed, isn't it? Well, you can't change someone who doesn't see an issue in their action. It's high time we take the responsibility of our imprudent actions instead of justifying them to feel better. Like mass-scale animal slaughtering, environmental pollution, deforestation to meet our luxurious needs, overuse of environmental resources, global warming. And it's just not stop, like it never stops here. Let's be very honest, we humans are the only species that raise life to kill it. Like, for example, we raise like poultry, we raise mass scale, the species in mass scale in order to kill them and consume them. No other species can alter the state of the environment like we do. We think that we own the earth, taking pride that we are the ultimate species to ever rule the planet, even more dominant than those of dinosaurs, isn't it? I have lots of data, information, facts to follow up. Let's talk about some incidents which recently took place. The Bagjan gas leak that happened in All India Limited's Bagjan field in Tinsukia district, Assam, India on 27th May 2020. The air quality in Delhi, the capital territory of India, is well known for its air pollution. According to a WHO survey of 1,650 world cities, it is the worst of any major city in the world. Like, are we kidding? The capital city of India, attributing almost 41% to vehicular emissions. 21.5% to dust and 18% to industries. Like, this doesn't stop here, and it won't stop here. Like, it and 31,000 species are threatened because of us, and we're waiting for them to go extinct, says IUCN of the soils. The soils are also highly degraded. You see, we are not that great. It's our ego that makes us seem great. The fact that we are inclined to dismiss the premise of this question because the question itself becomes senseless, with us becoming non-existent. speaks of the extent of our ego. Yeah, and it's also very disturbing to say that, you know, we won't stop here until we finish the last drop of fossil fuel, pollute the last breath of air, and poison the last river, affect every living
Time's
creature.
up.
Why won't...
He has completed 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to say, Abhinav? You can say the last line, at least conclude your statement.
Yeah, I would like to conclude by giving one quotation that we cannot command Mother Nature except by obeying her, by Francis Bacon. On this regard, I would like to conclude and hereby giving an open ground for other participants for any point of information. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Abhinav, for making your opening statements. I would now like to invite Snegdha Saikia to make the opening remarks against the motion.
Thank you so much, sir. A very good morning to respected judges, teachers, fellow speakers, and my dear friends. I'm Snigdha, and of course, I am speaking against the motion for today's topic, the world would be better without humans. For all the speakers who are going for the motion, I would like to say that who would be here to witness the world would be better without us? Aren't you questioning the whole existence of human life? From Thanos wiping out the whole humanity for our own good in Avengers Infinity War. Now don't tell me you were rooting for Thanos for doing what he did. Remember all the gems we lost in the series? So now moving ahead, the planet as far as science has been able to tell is a non-sentient ball of magma with a thin crust of rock, water floating on it. It's not capable of having opinions on its quality of existence. The ones that have the opinion of having the quality of existence are we, the humans. The biosphere on the planet is little more reactive, but it is not a single organism, and it will be difficult to determine or consensus opinion, even if the concept of better, worse, or humans could be explained to its constituent. Did you know that if we didn't start farming, some of these plant species would have been extinct as well? Did you know that if we hadn't started cattle farms, those animals would have gone extinct by now? Did you know that carbon dioxide we exhale is necessary for plants to perform photosynthesis? Did you know that if we don't maintain lakes, all of them will be overpopulated with invasive plants? Plant and animal species have formed close bonds with humanities and are most likely to suffer if we disappear. Yes, the crops that we feed the world, as reliant as they are on regular application of pesticides and fertilizers, would be swiftly be replaced by wild forebears. They are going to be outcompeted fast, says Weissman. He is the author of the book, The World Without Us. And I'm sure most of you, while doing your research for today's debate, have maybe heard about his book. And he mentions that the sudden disappearance of pesticides will also mean a population explosion for bugs. Insects are mobile, reproduce quickly, and live in almost any environment, making them a highly successful class of species, even when humans are actively trying to suppress them. They can mutate, adapt faster than anything else on the planet, except for maybe microbes. The bug explosion in turn will fuel the population increase in bug-eating species like birds, rodents, reptiles, bats, and other species. Then a boom in the species will eat those animals, and so in all, the food chain will go up. But what goes up comes down to those huge population will be unsustainable in the long term once the food that has been left behind has been consumed. And this is not me who is telling this thing. This is told by Weissman, the author of the book. Again, I would like to mention the reverberation throughout the food web caused the disappearance of humankind may still be visible as much as 100 years in the future before things settle down into the new normal without us. Now talking about the domestic animals or cows or sheep that could survive, most of them have been bred into slow and docile eating machines that will die off in huge numbers. They will be very quick pickings for these feral carnivores or wild carnivores that are going to start proliferating. The question of whether intelligent life could evolve again is also hard to answer. One theory that holds intelligence evolved because it helped the early ancestors survive environmental shocks. Another thing that I would like to mention is that Weissman also offered a hope for us, a word of hope that during the Jurassic period, he said there were 5 times as much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere as there is today. So which led to a very dramatic increase in the ocean acidity. Evidently, however, there has been marine species that coped up with these extremes and that went on to evolve and be part of the planet we know today. which is to say that ultimately, despite the climatic extremes and the immense losses that can incur,
2
nature
minutes,
always
Snigdha.
finds a way. We can't just leave the mess that the previous generation have created. We have tried, and we have been trying our best to make world a better place to live in. So being in head of humans not existing at all would be like, when we were growing up, we did not have proper toilet etiquettes. We always create a mess around the home, but our parents did not leave us off. They did not, throw us out that, without you, it will be better in our house, but they gave us a chance to grow, to learn things better. And you can't really run away from the problem. We need to face it and we need to solve it. And I don't think, and I am totally against that world would be better without humans. Lastly, I would like to conclude that world would be different without humans, but world would not be better without humans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Snigdha, for making that rebuttal. I think we have begun our debate. We would now like to call upon the first member of the Treasury bench to make their presentation. So we will be doing this. It'll be for and again. So I will be calling out people. So please be ready. And at the same time, I would also like to request our debaters to kindly put in the chat box the name of your partner so that we can form the team. And then we will be able to give you your scores as a team-wise too. The next thing is leaders of the Treasury bench and the opposition bench. Remember, you'll be getting 3 more minutes to make your closing remarks. So please, you have to sum up whatever your team members have said. So please do not zone out or do not take a break. You have to stay focused in order to come back and give your closing remarks. So I'm now going to call upon Chonlem Moyi Kote, who will be speaking for the motion. Chonlem Moyi Kote, if you're there, can you please come online and make your presentation?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am here.
Speaking for the motion?
Yes, sir, speaking
Go
for
ahead.
the motion.
Thank you.
My name is Chonglemoy Kaute from Chemistry Department, and I am here today to speak in favor of the motion that the world would be better without humans. Let me first ask you a question. Can the earth exist without human beings? The simple answer would be a resounding yes. Life will persist on earth just as it had for 4 billion years without humans. I will give you some facts about how humans have been destroying the environment and the planet as a whole. A January 2016 image from NASA shows that 2015 was the warmest year since modern record keeping began in 1880. An environmentalist and professor says human effect on the environment is incomprehensible, and should the species of humans go extinct, the world would be better off. Say we died out or disappeared altogether, what would happen? Our 7.6 billion population makes up only 0.01% of all living things on Earth. But we have caused the loss of half of plant life and 83% of wild mammals since civilization began. How would the Earth look without humans? If we look at areas like Chernobyl, I am sure you know, a city in northern Ukraine as an example, we can predict that the world will undergo a slow process of rebirth. The site is now home to nearly 70% of Ukraine's bird species. Another 2015 study funded by the Natural Environment Research at Chernobyl found abundant wildlife population, suggesting that humans are far more a threat to flora and fauna than 30 years of chronic radiation exposure. Would the world then be a better place without humans? In response to a member from the opposition team, better is true, it's a subjective term. And if better is too much a subjective term, we can say that the planet would thrive without humans, don't you think? Humans who exist to exploit its resources. Humans have caused the extinction of hundreds of thousands of species, burned down thousands of acres of forests, and caused atmospheric temperature to rise. If humans cease to exist, you can see that the billions of tons of plastic population would start to degrade without being replaced by new plastics. Scientists predict that without people, most excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere would dissipate within 300 years, and the ozone layer would replenish in a few decades. It is the undeniable truth. Humanity is ruining this planet. It is not wrong for humanity to think about survival, no. Yet are humans truly ever satisfied with merely surviving? The problem here, I believe, is not in the existence of humans, but in the choice we make as humans. Geologists call our current epoch characterized largely by the current mass extinction of life, the Anthropocene, or the age of man. The extinction rate right now is 1,000 times faster than what followed the KT event, which is the mass extinction event following the asteroid impact 65 million years ago. The creatures on Earth and Earth itself does not require humans to continue existing. But I do not agree to absolutize everything. It is essential to meet a balance for our coexistence. And here I stand with the statement that the Earth can thrive without humans who seek to exploit and destroy. And for all the reasons and facts mentioned above, the motion must stand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tron, you have starting to pick up the debate. And now I would now like to invite Evangel Dengan to present his rebuttal against the motion. Evangel, are you there? Okay, so that we do not lose time.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Evangel. Oh, you're there. Yeah, go ahead. Please make your rebuttal.
Okay, so never underestimate a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. A very warm welcome to each one of you, our respected judges and all my dear mates. I'm Evangel Dingen, a fourth semester student of chemistry department, and I am standing against the theme that says the world would be better without humans. Without humans, world would just be a word. Mr. Speaker, sir, responsibility, power, potentials, and understandings are instilled in us. Humans have created an immense developments leading to science and technologies. We can see, just for example, the seed firing drones. These drones, this technology can help to plant billions of trees at a faster rate as we compare to humans. Okay, so one of the participants said that, suppose if we disappear, then after thousands of years, the earth would rebirth. Okay, let's not forget that natural disaster can also affect the earth. And I believe that animals could never have the potential like we humans have, and we have developed certain techniques and technologies to predict and prevent such a disaster. For example, the Australians bushfire. Take an example of that. Scientists have already predicted that. And yes, even with the humans' help, 1 billion of animals have perished. Think about without humans. Without humans, those incurable diseases would still remain incurables. And yes, as we have this potential, we really should make use of it. And there are so many things that humans are doing good for to save the world. Just an example, a technology was developed to protect the world from saving the asteroid strike. Humans in themselves are not bad. The only thing that differentiates humans to good and bad is their conscience. And when they lack conscience, they become greedy and use the power in a wrong way. And if we are intelligent enough to understand that we have done so much destruction and cost, then I believe that we have the potential to reshape the world in a very better place, to repay Mother Nature. It terrifies me to think that someone might just wish to disappear and do nothing and repay the world in a better way, to repay Mother Nature in a better way. It's not too late, and some might say that we can't do anything. We have freedom of speech and all, but we cannot do anything. But let's remember, we are the future, and our small step can take a tremendous impact on the world. Okay, so Yeah, I just wanted to say that a human life is much more greater than any other species on Earth. Let's just take that theme, the World Environment Day theme of 2021. It says about reimagine, recreate, and restore. It's high time for us to be positive, and it's high time for us to take step forwards, and just being hopeless and staying that way won't help the environments to be like that. So like we have the potentials to do many things. We should really stand forward to as a youth to really encourage and inspire the younger ones. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for taking the debate forward. I would now like to invite our next participant. This will be Shom Bahadur Thapa, speaking for the motion.
Yes, sir. A very good afternoon to one and all. Mr. Speaker, sir, respected judges, and all my fellow competitors. First of all, I would like to say that my name is Som Bahadur Thapa, and I will be speaking for the motion, The World a Better Place Without Humans. The very topic clearly depicts our end if we don't put our action and selfish desire to a stop. So without a further ado, I would like to start off by saying that Mother Earth is the only life supporting planet, and it offers us with beautiful landscapes, mountains, waterfalls, and many other things. Instead of praising its serenity and preserving its ethnic beauty, we humans so like to be called as Homo sapiens, mercilessly ruining the Mother Earth just to fulfill our selfish desire to live a luxurious life at the expense of our Mother Earth. In fact, Mother Earth is increasingly facing problems which includes climate change due to global warming, ozone depletion, sea and ocean pollution, ecological disturbances, which leads to problems like landslides, avalanche, floods, droughts, etc., to name just a few. In fact, humans have caused irreparable damage to the environment and are causing constant harm, pain, sufferings, and agony to the world, and sufferings to the many living organisms, which includes both macro and micro. Mining, illegal poaching of animals for better living, and commercial business add more to it. It therefore seems justifiable that the famous Sir David Attenborough, I think most of you must have known the Sir David Attenborough, who is known to be the humanitarian and also an environmentalist, consider that the humans are a plague on this earth, which clearly makes my argument stand valid that planet would be better without humans. Now, I would like to put forward or highlight some of the facts or positive changes by providing with some examples that when humans vanishes from this planet Earth for good, what are the positive changes that we might see? Obviously, first would be there won't be any buildings or roads, no cars on the roadside, no planes flying through the sky. There won't be any millions and millions of tons of waste buried in landfill sites or floating in the ocean. Instead, the world would probably be covered with vast thriving forests and lush grasslands, and the oceans would be crowded with fish and other aquatic creatures. And most importantly, now I would like to highlight to a very important fact that will let us ponder, and that is very much the ongoing pandemic. So let us just assume due to current ongoing pandemic, we, the humankind, are forced to stay indoors. But the natural world outside has seen a positive impact. Environmental crisis has come down drastically. So I would like to give some of the examples that instead of honking of horns in the roadside, we see the soothing chirping of birds. The nitrogen dioxide, which is known to be toxic, emitted from automobiles because of the lockdown, has come down dramatically from 5.6 microgram per meter cube to 0.2 microgram per meter cube. Not only that, air and water quality has also improved dramatically. It decreased human interference has given enough time to incubate and hatch in peace for the turtles and other marine creatures. And I would also like to put some
Time's
of my
so,
life. Yes, sir.
yeah, your time's up. 4 minutes.
Lastly, I would like to conclude by saying a quote that says, "Planet would be better without humans because, as the saying goes, we humans cannot live without planet Earth, but planet can live without humans." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shom. We will take this forward. I will not make any remarks in the middle, and so we will leave that towards the end. So coming on next, in order to provide a rebuttal to that statement made by Shom, I'm going to call upon Rikshita Bhattacharya to kindly make her statements. Rikshita, are you there?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes. Go ahead, Rikshita.
Thank you, sir. Being a part of the human community itself, unlike my fellow opponents, I would just like to state how important humans are to the planet. So good morning to one and all present here. I, Rikshita, take my stand here to speak against the motion of the House that is, the world would not have been a better place without humans. Mahatma Gandhi said, humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. This very statement clearly states how humans are important and only due to the ill work of a few people, the entire human community should not be blamed of its existence. The very idea of a better place is a human notion in itself. We are humans and we are the sole judge to judge whether the planet is a better place to live in or not. If we did not exist, who would have judged whether the planet is better or not? My fellow mates have stated that humans have destroyed the planet. But let me remind you one thing, guys, that even without human influence, many of the species would have been destroyed. For example, we all know about weeds growing in a cropland. Weeds just harm the plants and ultimately damage the crops. But it is only possible that now we are able to control the weeds with the help of man-made chemicals and fertilizers. So how can we say that humans are not important to the planet? The nature is full of ecstasy. During the time of the pandemic, when we are locked inside our houses, we always see the nature blooming outside. If humans were not present, who would have adored the nature? I am sure, Master Speaker, that many of us over here have written 1 or 2 lines appreciating the nature. And if we were not present, then who would have done so? Humans are the ultimate creation of God. Everybody says so. But my dear friends, I would like to remind one thing. Even Lord Krishna and Jesus took human forms just to remind the entire humanity that humanity is here not to just destroy the planet, but to take the planet to greater heights. Without humans, the resources would have been just created and ultimately destroyed without getting utilized. And then the Earth would just remain as a mere planet, unlike other planets in the solar system. It is only because of human intellect and knowledge that these resources are nowadays being used, and Earth is the most important planet of the solar system. We humans are growing. We eventually learn from our past mistakes. So instead of writing on the walls and designing posters saying that global warming is destroying life forms, we should now think of how we can form lives in other planets such as Mars. It is possible with human brains and not with any other sources. So lastly, I would like to conclude by saying that if humans did not exist, the world would not have been a better place. Of course, that some of the organisms might have lived, but if we talk about conservation is also due to human-made efforts. The in situ conservation and ex situ conservation that we learn about in zoology is only by human-made efforts. Unlike Darwin stated in his law of natural selection that many of the organisms eventually die out after it is unable to compete with other organisms efficiently, it is due to humans that now we are able to create artificial platforms like zoos, botanical gardens, wildlife sanctuaries, that these inefficient animals are now being stored and saved. Hence, I would like to conclude that without humans, within this time of the pandemic, we would not be conducting such type of a debate. And also it is only possible that due to the human man-made technologies like computer and internet, we are having such a wonderful debate over though virtually. So humans are really very important to the planet, and without humans, the world would not have been a better place. Thank you.
Time's up.
Thank you very much, Rakshita. I will now call upon Andrew Lalanpoya to make his statement for the motion.
Yes, hello, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the brief introduction. And my name is Andrew Lalanpoya. I'm from History Department, 4th semester, and I'm for the motion. So I would like to begin my statement by saying, prior to the cognitive revolution, humans were confined to the conclave of the Afro-Asian continent. But then after a few thousand years, we branched out and moved out into the Australian continent. And it was considered like the Garden of Eden, the Australian ecosystem with its vast terrestrial mammals. But then once humans set foot on the continent, we find that the large marsupial animals had been wiped out. Is this a coincidence that most of the large terrestrial mammals have been wiped out the moment the humans step foot on the continent? History has repeatedly told us that humans are ecological serial killers. We have wiped out almost all species that have walked on Earth, be it the giant kangaroos or the mammoths or the saber-toothed tigers. And now in the 21st century, we are on the verge of exterminating not only the other species, but our species as well, with the threat of nuclear war looming over the Earth. And I would like to conclude my statement by saying every living beings that ever that were ever on Noah's Ark are now gravely endangered. That is some food for thought that I think we should consider as humans. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, for making your statement. Now I would like to call upon our next participant, Penshailang Kharbani, to make his statement. Penshailang?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and make your statement for the motion.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
You are audible, yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Very good afternoon to one and all. I am Penshailang Kharbani from the 4th semester, Department of Physics. I stand here today to support the motion for the topic, the world would be a better place without humans.
Penshailang, your audio is kind of low. Can you fix your audio? I will now call upon Kaushik Pujari against the motion, and I'll get back to you. Please don't mind, so that we can keep the flow going for and against. All right. So Kaushik Pujari, can you please come in?
Hi, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Go ahead.
Yeah. So very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kaushik Pujari from the 6th semester, and I am presenting against the motion on the topic, the world would be better without humans. So let me start with the point that we are all sitting here celebrating World Environment Day and having a debate competition, sitting at home, is possible because of the sophisticated creations and inventions of the humankind. The terms following the world, Mother Earth, nature, our environment, all are there because we are there to say it. Next, my fellow speakers have mentioned many of the points, so I agree with them, and I'll follow on with that. So as a student of science, we all accept the theory of evolution, which have proved by many great minds. Things have evolved in the course of millions of years. Evolution has led us here. starting with the unicellular organisms to the multicellular organisms. Development of different species, natural selections, survival of the fittest implies to the development of superior species. It will happen no matter what. So human evolution is a fact and it cannot be denied. The world will always have a superior species. For the time being, stating the cranial capacity and the creativity are the humans. Moving on, the food chain, which we all know will be highly disturbed with the extinction of a higher species, which will highly disorganize or interrupt the flow of energy in the ecosystem. Disturbance will lead to natural calamities and catastrophes. We are a part of the ecosystem. We are there is the fact which keeps a balance to the ecosystem. Without us, we can't think what will be its repercussions. So moving on, let me enlighten with the conservation of the ecosystem, plants, animals, species we have. We have national parks, biosphere reserves, botanical gardens, zoological parks, seed banks, gene banks. These are all due to the human populations having, which is present today. So, and with the intelligence of human mind, the things like cryopreservation is possible, which helps us in preserving life tissues, germplasm, and many more. We shouldn't forget the concept of agriculture, which is possible because of human. We managed to develop so many hybrid species, along with which have known numerous different species of a single plant, like the basmati rice, 29 varieties according to the Seed Act 1996. Let's not forget about the numerous species of animals. This is known only because humans have made it possible. Uh, Stating the great persons like Jadav Payang, also known as
3
the
minutes.
Forest Man of India, uh, Forest Man of India, have built a forest alone, turning a barren land of 550 hectares in Majuli, Assam. So we have peoples who are thinking of conserving nature with his might. And I would like to conclude by saying humans add a fine touch to nature's creations. For the fact nature has its own biotic potentials and environmental resistance to maintain equilibrium. So if it is disturbed, it will maintain by its own, whether humankind existed or not. So I conclude by saying world is a better place with humans. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaushik. I'm getting back to Pinchailang Kharbani. Can you please come in? Pinchailang Kharbani will be speaking for the motion.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes,
Now?
you're audible.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Can you get your microphone closer to your mouth?
Not working. Can I use just the audio and not the?
Sure, no problem, Pinchai. As long as we can hear you.
Okay. A very good afternoon. Is it audible?
Yes, very good. Yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
A very good afternoon to one and all. My name is Pinchailang Kharbani from the Department of Physics, 4th semester. Now I stand here to support the motion on the topic, the world would be a better place to live in. Indeed, it would be a better place to live in, infinitely better. In fact, it's Eden without human. We're a population of 7.9 billion, which makes up only of 0.1% of all living things on Earth. But we've caused the loss of half of plants' life, 83% of wildlife mammals since the beginning of civilization. Now, if human would have existed, I think these population of plants and animals would have not been lost. They've been there, living, roaming around. Now, humans have caused a lot of havoc to the environment. They've cut down trees to make way for a residential complex and for the many other humans' wants. I have a report from the Food and Agriculture Organization stating that in 2015-20, the deforestation rate was at 10 million hectares per year. Look at the numbers. If humans weren't there, I think the rate of deforestation would have been at 0.01 million hectares per year. I also like to say that humans have caused our species that kills its own in large number. We cause war and devastation to the environment. For example, the Nagasaki and the Hiroshima war in 1945, and just recently the Israel and Palestine airstrike, which caused a lot of damage to the environment as a whole. Also, his greed has made him develop a lot of these nuclear energy and accidents such as the Fukushima and the Chernobyl disaster. These incidents should have been avoided if humans weren't there. A research done by the Woodhull Oceanography Institute reveals that the ocean near Fukushima has a radiation of 50 million times higher than that before the incident. These facts shows that human, of course, a lot of havoc in the environment. And if human weren't there, the earth would have been greener. The earth would have been not polluted. Like the rivers are more clear. Some of my friends have said that without humans, a world just a world. No, I don't think so. A world is a world without human. A world is full of peace, prosperity, greenness is there, cleanliness is there. There is no pollution. Also, my other friend from the Against the Motion states that they also want to explore, they want to live in Mars. For the fact that we've destroyed Earth, we want to destroy other planetary bodies also. Is this how greedy humans are? I think, sir, respected speaker, without humans, these planetary bodies are kept as they are. They have not been intervened by humans. So I think, support my motion, I think, sir, the world without humans is a much better place. I like to quote from John Salk: if all insects on Earth disappeared in 50 years, all life on Earth would end. If all humans being disappeared from the Earth within 50 years, all form of life flourish. I like to also give example from the Gukui Island in China, which has been left untouched for many years. No human intervention, it's flourishing. So these are facts that states that without human, the world is a better place. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pinchai, for getting through to us with your arguments and your debates, your statements. I would now like to call upon Christina Lalsomzwali, who will be speaking against the motion. Christina Lalsomzwali, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
A very good morning, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you for the introduction. A very good morning, Mr. Speaker, sir, and my dear fellow opponents. I stand here, Christina Lalsomzwali, to stand against a motion that says that the world would be a better place without human beings. I feel that as a species, we tend to romanticize other species. We tend to romanticize nature itself. We call nature Mother Nature, and call ourselves the villains, make ourselves the villains. Why? Simply because we are a species that are self-aware. Might I suggest to you to look up the end Ordovician extinction event. It was an event in which 85% of the marine life was wiped out. And surprise, surprise, our race had nothing to do with that extinction event. It was the first terrestrial plants which caused that extinction event. And we tend to say that Mother Nature is a mother, she nurtures us. What we tend to forget is that she is no mother, she is just nature. And the only constant with nature is change. She keeps on changing. During the 535 to 536 BC, there was a volcanic eruption in the Icelands which filled the northern hemisphere with enough fog to destroy crops and give us humans diseases of biblical proportions. All these incidents completely unrelated to our race. So to say that the world would prosper, no mass extinctions would exist without us is completely absurd, because without us, the world would completely destroy itself and then regenerate itself. That is just the fashion of the world. The world likes to destroy the species it has created so far to create new models when it decides to, when it wants to. We, at the end, just have a complex dynamic with it. We either can be its destroyers or we can also be its saviors. We have preserved over 48 species so far. And one of them is the panda. Have you seen how dumb pandas can be? They will see a branch and sit on it despite knowing that their weight can't support it and fall to their deaths just because they like the vibe of that branch. We have preserved a species like that. So isn't that commendable? Don't we deserve some credit for getting this far? Nature wasn't always fair to us. We were never supposed to be at the top of the food chain. Look at us. Other animals have strength, have speed. We had our intelligence. We have our morality. People keep saying that, human beings, they are so selfish, they kill for fun. they aren't like animals. Animals kill for needs. While might I suggest to you that orcas tend to kill for fun. Dolphins play around with the dead bodies of those that they have killed. The other species are not all that we give them. And if humans were not to survive, another intelligent species would be taking over the world, but they wouldn't be handling it half as well as we are. Look at the plants and trees around us. We have engineered them to become better. And I would like to conclude by rebutting my opponent who said that the world would be like Eden without us. My dear friend, Eden wasn't called Eden until we were placed in it. God's lovely creatures who are doing our best while dominating this earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. We're definitely picking up with the spirit of the debate there a little bit. And I would like to continue to remind our students that remember the spirit of the debate is in the rebuttal. You need to hit the points made by your opponents so that you will be able to actually debate in the true sense of the word. So again, to take it forward, I would like to call Noripchi D. Marak to come and present her arguments for the motion. Noripchi D. Marak.
So, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon to everyone present here, respected Mr. Speaker, sir, and respected judges and my fellow opponents. So today I speak here in front of you to tell you my opinions in favor of the motion, that is, the world would be better without humans. I like to start with a quotation by Mr. Alan Wiesman, which says, "Without us, Earth will abide and endure. Without her, however, we could not be." The statement is very true. In fact, the world would be better and would be very different without humans. It does not need humans to survive. The world can survive on its own. It has its own elements and its own resources. And if human never existed, every species would be left untouched and also would be left pristine, and the world would grow and prosper with its richness and its diversity. All the elements of the planet would have their own freedom, and the species will also have their own freedom, such as in their vegetation, and the animals with their hunting, and other animals which migrates, and also animals that hibernate. They will have their freedom in doing their things. And if humans never existed, there would be colonization of animals and other insects and not urbanization of the humans. Because if urbanization takes place, it takes place by taking down the forest. Even if the species colonize, they do not destroy the place in order for them to survive. Instead, they make use of the resources that is available for them, that would benefit them and also for their future generation. And we also can see that the flora and the fauna are very vulnerable to human activities. But if the flora and fauna together, they would be inevitable, because of human activities, we have threatened the very existence of these species. And I guess the extinct animals, if humans never existed, would still be walking and would still exist, would still be walking on the planet. And also to look at the human activities, it have destroyed and it have exhausted and it have depleted all the natural resources. But the human activities also have its positive impact and its negative impact. But since I'm standing for the motion, I would be focusing more on the negative impact. The negative impact it has left, because there's nothing in this world that would stop the human progression. But the flora and fauna are very much important for humans to survive, and also that the flora and fauna are very much important for the survival of the planet. And human activities are not just local, but they are global. they have affected they have affected the planet in many ways, and also have indirectly threatened the existence of the humans of the human species as well. And now I would like to conclude with the words from Mahatma Gandhi, which says, "The earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed." Thank you.
Thank you, Norupchi, for making your statements. Now let me call upon Radhika Roy, who will be speaking against the motion. Radhika Roy?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Radhika. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. A globe so vast, yet so empty, and so beautiful, but nobody to appreciate and explore it. Exactly how I would describe our planet without humans. Good morning to Mr. Speaker, sir, and everybody else. I am Radhika Roy from 6th semester Botany department, and I'm here to speak against the motion on the topic, the planet would be a better place without humans. Now, better is a very subjective word, and I'm considering whether the earth would benefit if there were no humans, and the answer to that is no. Probably the picture of earth that we imagine without humans is flourishing and smoke-free, pollution-free, no holes in the ozone layer and all that, which is true, but not very great at the same time. Earth without humans is a very, very sad place to think about. What makes us different is our ability to think. And I think that explains a lot. And for those who are imagining a world without humans, or the thought of wiping out all humans is a very pessimistic approach to the problems that are existing. We are not a cosmic mistake of the past. We are here because we are supposed to be here. And if it wasn't for humans, then it would have been some other species that the world would have given chance to think, the ability to analyze, make progress, make mistakes, but then again fix it, rebuild it, because we have the potential to do that. As one of my fellow speakers said, that even supreme personalities like Lord Krishna took to human form. From conserving and protecting the helpless species to exploring our own planet, plus the neighboring planets, and to bringing up this beautiful culture that prevails, to conducting this virtual debate that we're having right now. Everything happens because of this intelligent life, humans. So before I conclude, I would like to say that nothing is above nature. We are not above nature because that is not possible. And there is no reason to deny that humans have caused damage. But as humans are greatest tyranny, no other entity in this world can bring or are capable of. Humans are the problem, but they are also the solution. And we can equip ourselves to actions towards a sustainable future. And we need this nature, and the nature needs us too. And this coexistence is all that is needed, because it's the only thing that will make this whole world worthy. And to conclude, this world will not be a better place without humans. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhika Roy. Now going over to Nilaf Akash Barua to make his statement for the motion.
Good morning, good afternoon, respected speaker, sir, and my fellow participants. Today, I, Nilaf Akash Barua, would like to speak for the motion on the topic that is with us, that is, without human beings, the planet would be a much better place to live in. I believe the anthropogenic activities that have been taking place in this planet they have been so devastating and disrespectful towards the planet. The activities have completely destroyed the planet, and we have taken this planet for granted. A lot of my fellow participants talked about biological parks, national parks, and these national parks which have been created by human beings for protecting animals. But let me say, being an Assamese, every year I see on the newspaper that the one-horned rhino, which is a pride of Assam, which is a pride of the country, which is present in the Kaziranga National Park, it is killed. It is poached by poachers. Its horn is sold for sums of money. Also, a lot of my fellow participants spoke and said that the Australian bushfires took place because of some natural calamities. But let me tell you, the Australian bushfires also took place because of an act of arson. An act of arson is an act of criminally setting fire to a property, because of which so many species of organisms lost their lives. Also, a lot of my fellow participants are mentioning this, that we have come up with technology. We have grown man-made chemicals and pesticides to kill the weeds that are present nearby our crops. But don't you think those man-made chemicals are going into the aquatic systems and killing the fish out there? There is something called Dept, which is located in Assam. It is a wetland present in Assam. Today, this wetland, which is a migratory site for so many birds, which is a wetland filled with numerous fishes. Now today, this wetland has become a dumping site, a waste disposal site. You can literally see fishes, dead fishes floating on the surface of water. Further, a lot of my fellow participants have said that different gods like Lord Jesus or Lord Krishna, they took forms of human beings to bring change and aware people out here, aware other human beings. But did Lord Jesus or Lord Krishna also teach us to destroy the earth like we have until now? Also, I believe that all these another participant also from against the motion said, Speaker Sir, that we are maintaining cattle farms, we are maintaining farming. Because of us, the domesticated animals are able to live. We are growing livestock. But the Baghjan oil fire, which took place in Assam, this oil fire killed so many domesticated animals present in Assam. Moreover, until yesterday, we heard this news just one day prior to World Environment Day, that the Birla Group of Industries, it is going to cut down 200,000 trees just for building a mining site a diamond mining site in Madhya Pradesh. With all these points, I would like to conclude and say that yes, our dominance as human beings, the most civilized and the most advanced species, has been great in this planet, but we have taken this planet for granted. We are appreciating this planet for just one day in the entire year, and for the rest of the year, we destroy this planet. With those words, I would definitely condemn the fact and really believe in I condemn what humans have done to this planet. And I definitely believe in the fact that yes, without human beings, this planet would be a much better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilaf. And going over to Diksha Mazumdar now, who will be coming against the motion. Diksha, are you there?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes,
Hello.
sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Yes.
Hi, Diksha. We can hear you.
So you cannot hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, Diksha.
Sir?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
sir.
ahead.
The upliftment in every aspect are brought about by humans. The world has reached here just because of humans, and it is the humans who are going to decide the fate of the world. A very good morning to Mr. Speaker, sir. I, Diksha Mazumdar, stand here to strongly oppose with the topic which states that the world would be better without human. Now, before diving into the topic, we need to know, what do we mean by human? Well, a human means a human being, as simple as that. But we need to know that a human being is not as simple to be merely defined. A human being is the most self-conscious creature present on this planet. We have to believe that humans have an upper hand over all the living organisms present on this earth. If we think of and if we want to take about any change, if we want to bring about any change, then it will be possible only through the participation of humans. To talk of a world without any human is basically like constructing a building without any cement. So the underlying mysteries of the world are to be unveiled by humans only. This is indeed true, that the nature would be all in all in a world without humans. There would be complete greenery, there would be complete serenity, there would be complete peace.
But according to me, who will be there to enjoy that beautiful state of environment? So therefore, I think to talk of a world without humans is just useless. It is a fact to be accepted that humans have destroyed nature to a large extent and even have crossed its pinnacle or zenith. However, the growth of our very precious nature is also very possible, and it can be done very, very beautifully by humans only. A bit creativity and understanding on the side of human can wash up all the damages that have caused to nature by humans. Nowadays, many big companies, such as the Tata, such as the Disney, Nike, and many more, have taken many huge environmental initiations. The JK Paper Limited has also taken a very practical environmental initiative in which they used to plant a tree in the sale of their each pack. So in this way, these type of innovations will definitely work for the upliftment of nature and for the world altogether. Now to encapsulate everything, I would like to say that a world without humans will just like the other planets. How can we human think about a world without humans? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, just not to offend anyone, I would like to say that the opposition cannot crush some sense out of this topic. With this, I would like to come to an end. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Diksha, for your arguments. And now I would like to request Debolina Kar to come forward and present her arguments against the motion. Or for the motion, sorry. Debolina Kar is coming for the motion. I stand corrected. Debolina, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
If all the insects were to disappear from Earth within the 50 years, all life on Earth will perish. If all human beings disappear from Earth within the 50 years, all forms of life would flourish. This quote by Jonas Salk, the American virologist, has stayed with me since the time I first came across it. Good afternoon, honorable educators, members of the opposing team, moderator, and the audience. Today, I, Debolina Kar, a student of 6th semester Media Technologies, on the occasion of World Environment Day, is here before you to stand for the motion, the world would be a better place without humans. There is no denying that as each day passes, it's getting only clear that human beings are the chief destroyer of nature. The environmental damage caused by humans and its consequences have been talked over for decades, and it continues to be discussed today. I'd like to rebut one of the claims made by the opposing team that if the world gets better, who will be there to witness it if humans are not there? Why do we feel like we have to witness it? Why do we feel like we have to witness everything that occurs in the world? Are we really that of a superior being who have to keep track of everything? We are not more important than any of the other being on this planet. Coming to our motion, do I really believe that the planet will be a better place without humans? Yes, I do. At this point, with the damages being done, it really feels like we humans are parasites feeding on the resources of the planet without giving a thought to tomorrow. Unlike other creatures, we humans don't merely want to survive, we want to be constantly entertained. We don't just kill for food, we kill for sport. We kill for safety, and we kill to maintain our space. We build houses in the middle of forest, and then suddenly all the other animals in the area are invading our spaces. The world will definitely be a better place without us humans. The fact that we have to think about conservation of the conversation of the once abundant resources provided by our mother nature says a lot about us. Now we are off into the space, beginning to exploit other planets as well. Where does it stop for us? And as I said, the world will be definitely a better place without us humans. How? Let's take for instance that my wish is fulfilled and humans have suddenly disappeared from the planet into thin air. What happens next? The important question is the world in a better state already? Well, no, not immediately. Our contribution to the planet is huge. We can't deny that. Since no one will be there to control them, nuclear reactors will explode, spreading massive radiation, which will erase a number of flora and fauna in that area. Again, thanks to humans.
Yes, 3 minutes.
Plastics will keep accumulating and float in the water bodies even after 500 years of human disappearance. Look at it this way. It will take Earth more than 25,000 years to hide the fact that humans were ever here. Eventually, the ecosystem will restore and animals will return to the natural habitat. The planet's natural systems will stabilize. The planet will survive and it thrive without us, but it will never be able to forget us, for we would have left our mark forever. Recall the climate clock that ticks down to show us the time left for us to reach a total climatic catastrophe, a point of no return. Currently, the clock reads 6 years, 210 days, 4 hours, and counting. We have a very little time left, but hey, the clock's not at zero yet. We need to act now and make others act as well to save our planet. If we don't want to keep having a conversation on the planet being a better place without us humans. With this, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Debalina. I will now go ahead. We are coming towards the end of our debate. We still have quite a few numbers of debaters to present their arguments. So moving on, we go on to inviting Rishabh Singh Rajput, who will be speaking against the motion.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead, Rishabh.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, respected speaker, sir, and members of the House. Today, I, Rishabh Singh Rajput from Mass Media Department, I'm going to speak on the topic, the planet would be a better place without humans. And I'm strictly against the motion. First of all, humans are a part of this planet. This planet is also ours as much as any other species. So if you think humans shouldn't be on Earth, then you're denying a creation of this planet. 21st century humans have developed technology to predict certain disastrous events, and in some cases also prevent it. Some of the past cases of vast and deadly catastrophe might now, in some cases, might be averted or at least lessened. Human knowledge has made flood defenses, firefighting techniques against forest fire, which is again, a natural phenomenon due to which thousands of life forms die or get destroyed. Seismometer is a creation of mankind, which is used to detect ground noises due to volcanic eruptions, earthquake, that helps us to warn people against tsunamis. Can you believe without humans we could do that? Efforts are going on to develop tech that could even help Earth from an extinction crisis. For example, asteroids. So if Earth never had humans, it would have no means to detect and potentially avoid these threats. More so than any other species, humans understand how the Earth works. Therefore, to ensure that Earth keeps on working the way it is, the humans are preparing to face a potentially inevitable world ending. In fact, thanks to humans, that a higher percentage of life form could well survive. So the Earth to suffer an extinction similar to what happened to the dinosaurs, there is a Svalbard Global Seed Vault. This is an authentic vault halfway between somewhere in mainland Norway, which is an authentic vault which has been created to prevent plant species, some of the plant species from getting lost forever. Like they're stored in that vault post-apocalypse. We've also created numerous frozen zoos where the genetic materials for countless animals are stored and preserved. So we have the ability to also change the future for the good. We're not all bad. We're already learning from some of the mistakes that we did in the past. So we've created wildlife preserves. Some of the wildlife that died due to natural selections, we still preserve them. We humans have the ability to do that. Creating green and open space laws, reforestation, better greener farming techniques. All of this has been done by humans. I totally agree that before humans there were more trees, but according to the Food and Agriculture Organization, there are more trees today than 100 years ago, and that is a positive sign. that humans are understanding. We've converted unlivable areas beneficial for wildlife. So can you believe without humans, we could have done so much for this planet, for saving this planet? So with this, I'd like to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishabh. Going on now to my bum Donald. And just before we invite my bum Donald to come forward, through a very interesting turn of event, we happen to have more people going against the motion. So towards the end of this debate, we will be having people coming forth against the motion in consecutively. So you might find this a little bit not as per the structure of a debate, but this is how it turns out to be. So over to you, Maibam, for your presentation.
A very good afternoon to everyone, Mr. Speaker, sir, and all my fellow panelists. Since the time when humans learned to make fire, they had been disturbing the nature, whereas human beings are the most intelligent creatures who make their life easier, yet they are selfish and greedy. On the other hand, by doing so, to enhance the artificial world, we overexploit the nature and build beautiful cities, where on the other side, the forest, the atmosphere, the water bodies, and everything that is meant for nature is destroyed. I will put this argument, which was stated by one of my fellow opponents, that we are building artificial homes for those animals who are going to be extinct. But why are we building those artificial homes? Because we are destroying their natural habitat. And continuing, well, we may say that there is a gaining momentum on saving the environment and mitigation of climate change by thousands of environment and climate activists around the world. The net effect of such efforts has not improved the condition of the earth. If measured, such a minuscule effort may amount to just like a drop of water sprinkled in an ocean that is already deadly. Are these the only impacts? No. The story is not only confined to men destructing the natural environment, but also man versus man. In the history of human, we have seen and heard many stories of wars. Out of them, the recent ones are the two world wars, the terrifying memory of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the invasion of Vietnam, and still we can find many places that are unrest, as we see in the case of Israel and Palestine. And the story of men being a villain does not end here again. As I have mentioned earlier, we are greedy and selfish creatures. Therefore, we are always in need of salvation. So, and one of my fellow opponents said that we are the one to provide the homes for those domestic animals, but we have altered their behavior, the behavior of the domestic animals, so that they could not survive in the wild environment. Is this not a questionable
minutes?
So I would like to conclude by saying that if the so-called species human or the Homo sapiens has disappeared from the planet, there will be no issues of climate, no issues of global warming, and no wars. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Maibam. Now we'll go on to our next participant. We're coming towards the end, and now I would like to invite Emmanuel Kharsyntiew to come forward and present the arguments against the motion. Emmanuel Kharsyntiew.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Actually, we have decided that I will be going for the motion now.
Very good.
Okay.
Then go ahead for the motion then.
Okay, for the motion.
So judges, please note, Emmanuel Kyangte will be going for the motion. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Kyangte from the Mathematics Department, 6th semester. Now I'll be going for the motion. So first of all, like one of the opponent said that Eden was not an Eden till human being came there to live. So Eden was like we came there and then it became Eden. But we are the first being to stand out of Eden also because of our own mistakes. And that mistakes we are even committing now also. You can see that we are causing pollutions. And then some of them are saying like, some of our opponents are saying that we are doing conservation and we are protecting the endangered species. But why are they endangered in the first place? It's because of us. We endanger them. We are the one who kill them. Not they kill themselves and they are dying and then we are going to protect them. We are acting as a hero where we have been the villain first. That's the point I want to say. And then secondly, like some of the opponents again mentioned about Jesus Christ becoming a human being and saving like the human beings, like the people around. But you should not forget that at one point of time, God also killed every one of us, and only Noah was saved that time because human beings were very bad, and then they were doing whatever they wanted to do. So God felt it was necessary to kill and wipe out every human being there, and He just saved one person, that is Noah. So you could see that it might even repeat again because we are doing that mistake like again and again. And now other thing that I wanted to say is that there was one point that was mentioned, like we should not say that 2 drops of water does not pollute the ocean, said. But as far as we know, we are not dropping only 2 drops of polluted water. We are dropping more than million of dirty polluted water in the ocean and making it more dirty and dirty. So it's not only 2, okay, it's more than that. And then the opposition again said about, oh, we have developed technologies that will help us avoid that astronaut attack that happened to the dinosaurs. And we have also built nuclear warheads that would even wipe us out with the living beings in the world. And there were other things like who would take, who would value the Earth if we were not there? Like I will tell you, first of all, human beings are looking forward to a system where we have like our self-sustained system, okay? And that sustainable system, if you put in a rocket, that we can go and explore other planets. So if you look on Earth, I think the Earth in itself is a very self-sustainable environment where it sustains itself. We are the one who is altering it to our own advantages. And then we are acting heroes and bringing up this word who call as conservation, protecting the endangered species, which we have caused. If we are not there in the planet, what will happen? Okay, so like I would not say like if you disappear right now. Right now, if you disappear, the world will go in chaos. Okay, so
2 minutes.
suppose we are not even there in the beginning. Okay, right beginning, like we were never there. As we can see that during the dinosaurs age, before the astronaut attack, they were very self-sustained. And I'm pretty sure if we are never there in the planet will still be self-sustaining. And it will be like, as some said, if you were not there, who will give value to the planets? I'll tell you, if you were not there, it will be like any other planet, and the Earth will be able to join the rank of other planets also, like they should be. Thank you very much. That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. You finally came with the rebuttal. Some very good rebuttals there. We would like to see more of that coming in. We are now coming towards the end. We have 2 more presenters, debaters, who will be presenting their arguments and rebuttals. So now let me call upon Kerpang Borlang Karaswai, who will be speaking against the motion. And after him, we will have the last speaker, which will be Lena Miki Khongla, who will also be speaking against the motion. So Kerpang Borlang, can you please come online and present your arguments?
Yes, sir. I am audible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our respected speaker or respected judges and to all who are present here. My name is Kerpang Borlang Karaswai from 4th semester BSc, and I am here to against this topic which says that the world would be better without humans due to these factual reasons. First thing first, God has already instructed man to subdue the earth and rule over all of the creatures. And the story of the creation declares that human beings were made in the image of God. So if God instructed human beings in his image, that means he's like much the same as human. So if we are going and if we are saying that the world would be better without humans, that means we are questioning God's creation, which is hypothetical. So is this meaningful? No, it will be meaningless at all. Secondly, let me raise a situation. If there are no humans in this planet Earth, imagine if an asteroid would come to hit the Earth, then would you think that the other species can stop the asteroid from destroying the Earth? No, they cannot do that. Humans are the only species that would be able to stop an asteroid from destroying the Earth. So without humans, the other species would die. You may say that if humans exist, it might cause us war, large-scale animal slaughtering, it will cause us pollution, deforestation, global warming, and so on and so forth. Yes, I concur with that. But why should we waste our time in talking about these useless things to take humanity the entire blamed? That has already happened. Is this not shameful for us? Why didn't we come to a conclusion that we need to realize and accept all these things? Why don't we gird ourselves to stop this until we finish the last drop of fossil fuel, the way of polluting the earth, the way of polluting the last river that affects every living creatures? Why don't we get mad first and then speak up, spread the awareness that humanity is a part of the nature, which we can bring solution to all these things for helping a more permanent survival, to stop pollution, to stop wars, to stop deforestation and every damaging causes in this planet Earth. Why don't we believe that without humans, there will be no concept of better? There would probably be nobody left to appreciate how good Earth would be, nor anybody to be sad about how it had become. Yes, I'm pretty sure that the world would be headed without any kind of wars, any kind of pollution, or any other harmful effect, but that does not necessarily constitute better. There's many animals and plants that exist. We should be thankful to human intervention that exists. Like the farm, domesticated animals, and many different forms of plants that we use for food. Most of those would die out without us for a number of reasons. So for those things, the world would not be better without humans. To conclude this speech, from my opinion, I would like to say to each and every one of us that the world would not be better without humans. It's not too late. Remember, we can put our steps right in the better way, that human needs to change the minds and thoughts so that we can again put the world in a better, safer place. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We seem to have skipped one person, and that is Warsam. So I'm going to call upon, before I go on to calling Lena Miki, I would like to call upon Warsam Kasung, who will be speaking for the motion. Warsam Kasung, can you please come online? Oh, so there appears to be a few more students who have been left out. So Warsam Kasung, after you, I will call upon Lena Miki, and then we will have Anushka Barua. So I think that will be the last speaker. So go ahead.
Sir?
Yes. Go ahead, Warsam.
The extinction of human would be tragic, but also it would make a better world. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected chairperson, speaker, sir, honorable judges, and my dear friends. I am Warshomi from Biochemistry Department. Today, I am here to present my views in the favor of the topic, the planet would be a better place without human. As we all know, we have all heard the facts and science regarding how human is responsible for all the destruction, for most of the destruction, starting from climate changes, global warming. Of course, there are some other factor other than man-made, but yet the majority is because of human. Still, we know that we are the reason, but still we wouldn't stop cutting down forests, burning fossil fuels. Looking at the situation which is happening right now, the lockdown, people staying at home, there are very less vehicle. So like the population, the air pollution just dropped. And interestingly, like many wildlife actually appear on the streets. Even in India, we can say that sambar deer was spotted on the street. Peacock dancing on the street of Mumbai. And these animals, they were not running aggressively, destroying the property. they were very calm. So like from here we can know that who are the true villains. And one of my fellow mates said that if there were no human, who would take care of like the farm, the cattle? Like thinking of it, we human, we rear animals for our own benefit. For our own benefit, like we rear them, we eat them, we use them. It's not like we are saving them. So like we are the true villain. We can't blame any other, but like we are the species to be blamed for. And there's Sudan, the last white rhino who died in the year 2018 was under armed protection, but still poachers were willing to kill, still knowing that he was the last. Like we, no species consume or kill in a massive scale like we do. So like we are not realizing that we are the villain. We are just destroying everything. We can't accept that we are cruel. We think that we rule over this planet, but no, we are destroying
Minutes.
everything. In conclusion, I would like to say that in my opinion, no matter how much humans do good to this planet Earth, but still we are only destroying it. If we didn't exist, then this planet would be much better. Only this much. Thank you.
Thank you, Worsham. And with that, we will come to Lena Miki Kongla, and then Anushka. We will be hearing from you towards the end. So now we have Lena Miki. Are you ready? Oh, we cannot hear you, Lena Miki. Can you take your microphone closer to your mouth?
So, am I audible now?
Okay, barely. Go ahead.
Warm and pleasant afternoon. I am Nikona, 6 semester students from the physics department. So, Mr. Speaker, so today I'm going to talk against motion which feels that the planet would be a better place without humans. Mr. Speaker, so
Lena Miki, I do not want you to lose out because we cannot hear you. Can you do something? Can you try and adjust your microphone and your setting? We will give you some time. In the meantime, I will go over to Anushka and ask her to speak, and then in the meantime you can adjust your settings. We are not able to hear you properly, Lena Miki, and that would take away from whatever you have to say. Would that be all right? All right, Anushka.
Yes, sir.
Anushka, go ahead. You can present your arguments now.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anushka from the Department of Geology. Today, I'm here to debate on the topic, the world will be better without humans, and I strongly stand against it. World can never be better without humans. Humans, animals, and plants are created to have a good relationship with each other and make life on Earth beautiful. Photosynthesis and respiration are two processes which allow life to sustain on Earth, but also show interdependency of plants on humans. Though in recent years, humans might have overexploited nature and even tried to take advantage of it, as it was stated by most of my opponents. But not to forget, humans too are trying to rectify it. If not, then we wouldn't be celebrating today as the World Environment Day. We wouldn't be shifted to a sustainable living and wouldn't have cared to aware each other about the importance of conserving nature. Author Alan Weisman, in his book World Without Us, stated that just 2 days after human intervention, New York City subway would be flooded. Just few hours of human leaving Earth, all fossil fuel power stations will run out of power. Hydroelectric plants would continue to run, but within a month, they too would shut down. The whole world would conquer darkness. The whole world will be too dark, too quiet to live. Animals that rely on humans for their food, just like our very dear pets. Caged animals in the zoo, which couldn't escape, they all would starve and die. without humans. Also, the predators of the food web might overexploit their prey, causing their extinction. And without prey for food, predators too would start to starve. Within a month of human leaving Earth, water needed to cool down nuclear power stations would evaporate, triggering a series of explosions across the world, which would harm most of the plants and animals. Also, within a year after human leaving, thousands of satellites on Earth's orbit would crash down and land on the Earth, causing further destruction. So this proves the point that this world would definitely not sustain without humans, and humans can only save this Earth from all its destruction. Since humans lead the world, and the world would not function without human, so instead of removing the human factor from this Earth, we all the humans should come together, and we should work to make a better and sustainable living on this Earth. With this, I want to conclude. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Anushka, for your arguments and your statements. I will now go over to Lena Miki Kongla. Are you ready?
So, yes, okay now.
Go ahead. Very good. We can hear you very clearly. Now go ahead.
A warm and a pleasant afternoon to each. I am Lena Miki Kongla, a 6th semester student from Physics Department. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, today I'm going to talk against the motion which reads that the world would be a better place without human. Mr. Speaker, sir, I firmly oppose the motion because I believe that every species in the earth, be it plants, animals, microorganisms, humans are a core integral element of the nature, and they contribute to the overall working mechanism of the planet. So if there is an imbalance in the species composition, so that would disrupt the entire system drastically. For example, the food chain. Humans occupies the very imperative trophic levels in the food chain. And the life in the food chain depends on each other. The extinction of one species, can cause trouble over the other. So if without humans, the food chain and subsequently the food waves would be thrown into chaos. Another subject I would like to argue is environmental destruction and pollution. So, while it might be true that humans, create a lot of havoc and disharmony in the environment, but not only humans, even animals and plants have the ability to do so in their own capability. For example, animals like elephants, in pursuit of their nutrition, they regularly uproot trees and bushes and stuff. Some beetles are known to infect and kill trees. So this would eventually lead to deforestation of the planet. Okay, cattle can emit a large volume of methane gas, which according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization accounts for 14.5% of the greenhouse gases which cause climate change. And so even invasive plants and stuff, invasive plants, they can affect the sedimentation and the soil and the chemical composition of the soil. So if the world free of pollution or demolition is an idea of a better place, then that is a destination that is far from reachable. But then humans, on the other hand, are unique species, are distinct species with thinking ability, with consciousness, that have the concept of future and sustainability. So they have the potential of mending what is altered. Suppose, for example, if an elephant, considering an elephant uprooting a tree, do you think it'll be able to plant another tree as a compensation? Well, I don't think so. But humans can do that. Humans can plant another trees, can protect endangered species. So let's just say, if humans are the destroyer of the earth, they are all also caretakers of the world. So as conclusion, holistically, I would like to say that that the world would be a better place with humans in it. If humans make conscious efforts, to preserve and protect it. With that, I would like to put an end to my argument. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lana Miki. And I think with that, we have come to the end of the formal presentations of arguments and rebuttals. I will now like to invite, again, the leaders of both the benches to make their closing remarks. I will begin by, so we have been requested by our organizers that our marks should be sent to Professor Bukolyal, who will do the necessary work of calculating and totaling the system. So the scores that we have given to our debaters. So that will take care of the tabulation of marks. And in the meantime, we will now hear from the leaders of both the benches. And I would like to invite Abhinav to kindly come forward online to make his closing remarks for the motion.
Yes, sir. It was a very wonderful debate, and I was very honored, and it was a very great experience. But I really think that most of the speakers out there didn't like the main conundrum of the topic, like the planet would be a better place without humans. They never understood, because I could see only one thing. Like whenever the speakers who were speaking against the motion, they were all speaking about, like, these and that. We will conserve this. We had this. We have done that. The main thing. It was all words of wisdom, like, correctness coming to our rescue, but hypotheticals can't be answered by being strictly logical on the premise of this question. That's why it's a hypothetical in the first place. That's what I said. Yeah, I have also, like, Rishabh also spoke about, like, we are not the villains. Like, we are not the villains. And the difference between other species and us is that we forgot that we are the guests, and we forgot how to walk on this planet, like, not like other species. They know their limitations. They know how to, like, how to go parallel with Mother Nature. And one thing, one of the speakers also said about romanticizing stuffs, we romanticize Mother Nature. Actually, we don't romanticize. We set a barometer. We set a barometer not for any kind of benefits. We set the barometer for ourselves. We set the barometer for ourselves, so that, like, for example, we call ourselves Homo sapiens, and like, as we call ourselves Homo sapiens, we also consider that we should go parallel, and we are doing everything for a cause, which in return, it never comes for a, like, long-term benefit. For example, if we humans go extinct, if we humans go extinct right now at this point, like, what legacy do we leave? What legacy? We leave non-biodegradable waste, which we don't know, like, out of millions of years from now, I don't even think that bacteria or microorganisms will able to degrade that. We will leave stuffs which will only be harmful to Mother Nature, even when we are not around. And to this context, people also spoke about The World Without Us by Alan Wiseman. I think they did a less research about that particular American journalist, because he also spoke about areas where the natural environment exists with little human intervention, where megafauna can be found, like the Kingsman Reef and the Polymera Atoll. And these are the regions where human intervention can be seen very least, and megafauna can be observed. And due to which, at last, I want to conclude that we can't predict what the world will be 5 million years later by looking at the survivals by Douglas Irving. Thank you. And that's how I want, like, that's all I have to say, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Abhinav, for making your closing remarks. I will now like to invite Snigdha Saikia to come forward and make her closing remarks against the motion.
Thank you, sir. So it was really a nice session. All the speakers going for or against the motion. But now I'm here to conclude today's session for against the motion. Is that I can say that we are the ones, we humans are the ones that we restore. We are the ones who care, and saying we don't care would really be an irony given that we would not be having the discussion at the first place. Also, we as humans are the ones who understand various issues that are going around the world and follow up immediately. There are many, issues which are naturally occurring, which we don't have any, we don't have our hands or we are not responsible for that. There are many issues like there is uranium leaks that are naturally occurring and we are not responsible for that. Yet we take up the responsibility to act upon it. And it's not something that, we are doing for us. We may be doing for our selfish need, but we are also in a way, being responsible for whatever is happening in the world. Another important thing is that we as species can go extinct due to natural disaster, due to natural selection. And we have also given, we cannot deny the fact that we haven't given anything to the nature, and nature could anytime take it away from us. And we are as much threatened as other species. Take for example, when the coronavirus really came into place, we as humans are the ones who are in the spotlight for the disease, and it's really been a hard time for us tackling it. And I don't think so there's any other species that is really there to back us up. We as humans are there for each other, and we are working on tackling this disease. Also, I would like to conclude by saying that we as humans need to be more understanding. There need to be law, individual effort, and only then we can make world a better place. And proving why human species is just not is not just in species existing in planet Earth. Going to the root level of the problem is something that we are taught on tackling. But you really think that we not existing on the on planet Earth is the only solution for tackling all the issues that are going on? Lastly, I would like to give a point to ponder upon is that given a chance that you need to save yourself and you need to save any other species, you are in a situation wherein you can save only one of the either, would you really go on to save the species? So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Snigdha. So I would like to thank all our debaters who have made their presentations, their arguments, and their rebuttal. We have had a very interesting debate, and we will soon come to know the result of your arguments and your rebuttals. But in the meantime, while the scores are being tabulated, we would like to invite members of the panelists, our judges, who would like to say a few words or maybe give their own opinions or thoughts on the motion of the day. So I would like to begin by first inviting Professor Amanda Tongper. If she's ready, she can come forward and make her remarks or share her thoughts on the motion.
Thank you, Sir Jacob. I would not like to make any remarks on the motion. However, I would like to share my thoughts on what I've observed so far. And first of all, a huge congratulations to all of the participants. I know how scary it must be. And it's weirder now because you're talking to a device, right? So half the time you don't know where to look. So a huge congratulations to you. I must say I really enjoyed it. And another big congratulations is thank you for not shouting. Okay, thank you for not shouting, because there have been times where, debating, the art of shouting is, I don't know, perhaps accepted as the art of convincing. All right. So thank you for being civil, but I think it is too civilized. That is my observation. I think there is a certain lack of fire in your belly. I'm not convinced, except for one or two participants, right? And the reason could be many. I think the problem with these kinds of topics is you have so many facts, And I felt overwhelmed. I'm speaking as an audience, okay? I felt overwhelmed by facts, all right? So remember that when you debate, it is basically the art of persuasion. How do you persuade? You persuade by asking provocative questions or making a provocative statement, like somebody, one of the participants did, right? You persuade by landing your points very clearly and very simply, okay? And you persuade, I will believe you more if you rebut, not for the sake of rebutting, but rebut, you decimate, right? When you rebut, you land your points in such a way that it almost leaves no room for the opponent's point to rear its head up. All right. So remember that debating is the art of persuasion. If you don't believe it first, all right, your audience will not believe you. You have to be convinced first. Okay, so that you have to bring some kind of fire. Okay, and you don't have to do it by flailing your hands and shouting. No need. You can be yourself. But my next and final point is pace yourself. Pace yourself, right? So you need to pace yourself. Again, do not bombard your audience with facts. Okay, too many facts. In fact, have just one fact. Wow, I said fact 3 times. Have just one fact or two and work your argument around it. All right, make it digestible to your audience. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, too many facts, you've lost me. All right, you've lost your audience. Okay, so pace yourself. There has to be a certain push almost from behind for you to throw your points in such a way that it is digestible and convincing. Okay, so once again, congratulations to one and all, and congratulations to the Department of Botany as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for throwing those very important insights on how to debate and how to be successful in competitions, especially. So I would now like to invite Professor Dayomika, if you are there, and would you like to share something, your thoughts on environment or on the motion, because this is your area and your field of study. So we would definitely like to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Jacob. Yes, so when I first heard about the topic for the debate, I was really, really intrigued, and I was really looking forward to the debate. And I must say that, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to all the debaters, and I'm very impressed with the caliber of information and the presentation of the information that all of you have given. I'm particularly very, very impressed with the rebuttals that some of you made. In such a short amount of time, you could pick up those arguments and you gave your rebuttals. That was very impressive. So even I don't want to make much comment on the motion, but I would like to take this opportunity, as an environmental science teacher, I would like to take this opportunity to share, to speak a bit about the theme for this year's World Environment Day. As you all have heard, the theme is restoring ecosystems, right? So when we talk about restore, is basically to bring back something into its original state. And when we talk about restoring ecosystems, it's about restoring, it's about bringing back our ecosystems into their original state. And today, and as a matter of fact, today, the 5th of June, 2021, also marks the launch of the United Nations Decade on Ecosystems Restoration, which means that from today onwards, for the next 10 decades, all the nations will be working towards, will be working towards massively scaling up the restoration of our degraded ecosystems. Well, when we look at our own state, Meghalaya, we know that many of our ecosystems have been destroyed and degraded. We look at our forests; many of them have, disappeared because of deforestation and mining. And when we look at our rivers, they're all choked up with all our waste, especially plastic waste. So when we take a look at the topic for the debate today, will the world really be better without humans? Maybe, maybe not. But while we're still here, let us take small steps. There are very small efforts that we can take as human beings to make this world a better place. We definitely cannot turn back time. We cannot change whatever has been done, whatever has been destroyed. But we can definitely do, take small steps in order to make this world a better place. Maybe start by, banning the use of single-use plastic bags at home when you go shopping. Maybe keep it in mind that you take your cloth bag with you. Start by planting trees, by cleaning your surrounding and cleaning your rivers. All these small steps will help for us to restore our ecosystems, as the theme for this day is. So with these words, I would like to congratulate again, once again, all the participants. I know that it's not easy to speak in front of an audience, even if it's a virtual audience. I know that maybe some of you, it's the first time doing this. And I know that a lot of you have put in a lot of effort, and maybe you've had sleepless nights just thinking about today. So congratulations to all of you for your efforts, for your courage. Our remorse is that we cannot announce all of you as winners, but in my book, you all are winners just for being so brave and for putting your 100% best in your debate today. So with these words, I would also like to thank the Department of Botany for organizing this program today and for including me as a panelist. So with these words, I would like to say thank you once again, and all the very best for your future endeavors to all our participants. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your thoughts and for your remarks. I would like to invite Erin Benny, if she is there online, to share our thoughts. She has been a debater for some time in the college and has done well also in the field. So she would like to, maybe she would have something to share with you on how to be good debaters and how to win debates as well. So Erin Benny, if you're there, would you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, come on. Good to see you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, a very happy World Environment Day. At the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizing committee of Botany Department, Sir Jacob, and the college for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to witness such amazing talents here today. I feel so blessed today because, dear debaters, looking at the way you debated, I was thinking if all of you were there when I was in college, I think my existence in debating world would have been quite difficult. So keep it up. You have done a great job. Keep going. Keep learning. Well, regarding debating tips, I feel that I am, even though sir has said to give some tips, I honestly feel I might not be the perfect person to give you the tips because the other two judges, who are my teachers, they have, in fact, I have learned so much from them. Ma'am Amanda, I still remember she was the one who gave me break for my first inter-college debate. She gave me that opportunity, and I'm ever grateful for her because of whom I started my debating career in college. So I think, and Ma'am Dayo as well. I think both of them are such great orators themselves and such learned individuals that the words and the advices that they've given you, I believe those are golden mantras and you need to keep it. So from my side, what I can tell you regarding debates is that I got introduced into debating through TV mainstream news channel debates that I saw when I was in school. But of course, today our mainstream news channel debates have changed their genre into comedy and noise pollution. So that might not be so much, favorable. So what you can do is you can go to YouTube. I follow two channels, the Bharata First and the Rajya Sabha TV. These two channels on YouTube, they have great panelists with a holistic and a balanced view, and it will get your mind working on some of the burning issues on our country. So those, I think, you can surely look up to. And today we're celebrating the World Environment Day, and since I've got this opportunity and I'm back connected to the college, so I would like to, express my opinion on that. Well, at the outset, I would like to say that the topic that we have chosen, the world a better place without humans, is very apt looking at our environment today. And because of such scenarios, we are so much tempted to go for the motion and say, yes, yes, the world is a better place without humans. Why? Because you have statistics, 85% of global wetlands lost. Why? Because of humans. You had the recent Uttarakhand disaster, if you guys remember, in the month of January. You had the Nanda Devi glacier outburst, and you saw the ravaging floods there. Why? Because of humans building a cascade of dams, tunnels, highways. So, if you see instances like that, it makes you believe that, okay, this world would be a much better place without us, the devils, the humans. But that would be a very grim picture to paint, wouldn't be? And that's when against the motion comes into picture. Because I can tell you instances of individuals, communities, and institutions that have been working to protect the environment. One such individual I would like to enlighten you about is the legend himself, Mr. Sundarlal Bahungia, who passed away recently due to COVID. He's the pioneer of the Chipko movement in India. He taught Indians how to hug trees and save them. He gave a symbol to us, our bodies before our trees. Such a beautiful message done by whom? A human, apparently. And then you have communities, women communities. There are tribal communities in Dissa, women communities. They have an activity called Thengapali, where they go with lathis in the forest, not to hunt animals, but to protect the forest. And they have saved around 500 acres of land. They have been able to regenerate that. And who has done that? A community of humans. And so I think, and India, for that example, if I take some historical examples and I give it to you, we have in our ancient Indian literature texts, the Vedas, the Puranas, we have mentions of environmental conservation and protection. That itself shows that environmental protection and conservation is in the history of humans, in Indians as well. So I think, when I see of all these things, it makes me believe that yes, we are there. But of course, as the theme for this year is reimagine, recreate, and we have to do that to our ecosystem. So what I would like to suggest is that we have to do certain things, certain steps should be taken, and I believe the first thing is the steps that the state, the institutions have to be taken. And I'm not saying that because we as political science students, we're obsessed with the state, but because, they have a legitimacy and a wider base. For example, I believe this is the time for green policies, green contracts. And trust me when I say this, green policies, green contracts are economically viable. When you have biodiversity agriculture, that is going to raise rural income. When you have, things like green jobs, which will be done through the reconstruction and nature tourism, that is going to create millions of jobs. Secondly, I also believe in climate justice, which means countries have to be accountable depending on the amount of carbon emissions that they've done. Often, what happens, these big developed mighty superpowers, what they do is that they bully the smaller developing nations to reduce their carbon emissions without any financial and technical support. That makes no sense. So I think it's time for us, for the international organizations, to push these developed countries to provide those support to the smaller nations. And I think we could also have some kind of, global funds of countries depending on the carbon emissions that they do. I think this kind of steps will really help us. But will the state be enough to create changes? No. We need the individual efforts, because if it's the constitutional obligation of the state to protect the environment, it is the constitutional duty of each and every citizen of India to protect the natural environment. So we will have to work together with the state. It has to be a snowballing effect, and we will have to protect the environment. I think it's time for the world to bring together their best scientists, their best policymakers, their best environmentalists, their best civil society, and most importantly, its citizens, to protect something that we share beyond borders, and that is our planet Earth. So my last message would be to all of you is that let's take a pledge to save the planet this World Environment Day. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I would like to conclude by telling all of you in this, how do I say this, Gen Z social media lingo, that all of you are OG and lit. So keep it up, keep learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Erin. Benny, you have spoken more like the Prime Minister of the country, planning the next political, change coming in the country. That's a good job, and so nicely spoken. Well done, Erin, Benny. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and lots of information and a lot of insight there from Erin, Benny. Now, before we come to the results, there are about 73 people who are attending this particular program. So is there anybody who would like to say a few things, or if you would like to just type it on the chat box, How many of you support the motion and how many of you are against the motion? So what we can do right now is just let's see with those of you who are in favor saying aye, those of you not in favor, sorry, saying no's. All right, I'm looking at the chat box. Those of you who are attending this program, just before we get to the end. So we've got 1 no's, 2 against the motion, 3, 4. All right. So it looks like the no's are getting there. We have one for the motion. Right, most of them are from the speakers. We like to see people who are attending the program but not speaking to actually put in their thoughts or their opinion. Would you stand for the motion or would you be against the motion? So you can say aye or no's. Okay. So it looks like the no's have it. The no's have it, but we are still waiting for the official results from the organizing committee. So in the meantime, I would just like to share my thoughts. These are not prepared thoughts. Basically, just closing remarks that I have picked up from all the arguments and statements made by the debaters. So it's more or less like I'm summing up whatever has been said so far, and then we shall see what the results have to say at the end. So I'm just going to read out a few points that I took down while you guys were debating. So the motion at once presents a terrifying and haunting scenario. And so imagine the Earth teeming with over 7 billion people for thousands of years, working on the Earth, creating, building, producing children and taking care of them, and generation after generation, years after years. And suddenly this Earth, this world that we know as it is, suddenly all these 7 billion people vanish all of a sudden. All right? Well, even the animals would be startled by the sudden silence. So what's happening? What's going on? Well, what has taken man 10 years or over 10 years, as experts say, to build on Earth would be completely destroyed and swallowed up by the Earth in a matter of 150 years or so. 10 years of everything that we have done on this Earth, the very second we cease to exist, from that very moment, 150 years or so, the Earth would start to reclaim and recolonize everything and every single space on the Earth. But what would begin the process of erasing traces of man's presence on Earth would be the systematic disintegration of every single facility and infrastructure set up by man. And as some of you have mentioned, which would explode, causing fire and destruction around them. Nuclear reactors and facilities would explode and spread radiation that will cover the Earth for months. Animals reared as pet or domesticated animals would die out or become prey to other animals. Every single thing that has been managed and cared for by man will flounder. Rivers will overflow, vegetation will overgrow, and you can think of other things as well. And then our infrastructure would disintegrate and decay, and then nature will reclaim every single space that we have taken from it. And that will have been the end of our dominion. So what has taken 10 years for us to establish on Earth would disappear in a matter of 100 years or so. But what has been seen, now this will be the end of man's dominion over Earth and over every single creature on Earth. But what has been seen as a parasitic relationship will be over with the parasite dead and gone, because that is what apparently the motion of the house is stating. Human beings have a parasitic relationship with the earth and with nature and with environment and with other creatures on this earth. But does our interaction with the earth be seen in such a negative and repulsive way? Or light? Should we actually look at the interaction of man and nature as simply parasitic? Now, religious communities and their texts venerate the earth. For example, our brothers and sisters in the greater part of India calls the land Dharti Ma. This is our motherland. And in our own Khasi tradition, we call the earth Kamei Ram-o, our mother. Christians are taught that they are stewards of this earth and of every single creature on it, which means that we are permitted to consume some, but we are tasked with the responsibility to protect more. So what would be the end? So then what would be the end of a world? What would be the end of a world devoid of humans? What would be its purpose for its existence? Why would it need to exist at all? That is the question that all of you have asked. Those of you who are for the motion, against the motion, you've talked about this. But at the end of the day is, why would this earth even need to exist if it were to exist only for itself? So the answer to these questions will find their sources in religious texts and also in some science textbooks. We are created. Now, it depends also on how we see things and how we believe in certain things, in our belief systems. It also depends on the way we interpret the world and the way we interpret our relationship with it. It also depends on our worldview. So those of us who believe we are created beings placed on this earth, which has been created specifically for us, will see it as our home, a place specially created for all of us, so that we can come here, we can live on it, we can live by using the resources that have been placed on it. And so there is a purpose. This earth has been created for all of us human beings. There is a purpose, there is meaning in its existence, and its existence and its meanings and purpose is to provide man with a shelter, with resources, and with things that he would need in order to survive on it. And if we believe that we are but creatures that have mutated out of the primordial slime, as some scientists believe, that we are but evolved being, then this earth for us happens to be just an accident. This earth is just there. We just happen to evolve and to emerge out of the primordial slime. There is no meaning, there is no purpose. So we can do whatever we like with it in order to create meaning, in order to create purpose, in order to create significance. So at the end of the day, we look at this world as our home, where we are stewards to it, where we are people who have been tasked to take care of it, or we look at it as an accident on earth because we emerge out of an evolutionary process. Therefore, we are just here. So while we are here, we can do whatever we want as long as we are here. So at the end of the day, it also depends on how we look at the world and our worldview, our attitude to it. But the biggest problem I think that we have is because we have been very greedy and exploitative in everything that we have done, whether as Christians or religious people or scientists or people who believe in science or people who are persuaded by science or any kind of philosophy. At the end of the day, it all boils down to the fact that we have not been able to restrain ourselves, our greed, our desire to exploit as much as we can for our own selfish benefits and purposes. So at the end of the day, we need to begin reconsidering how we look at this world. And the more we exploit it, the more we are going to destroy it. And scientists keep telling us that we are nearing the edge of the cliff, and we are poised precariously on the edge of the cliff. At any time and any moment, we can fall off the cliff to complete annihilation. And so we need to begin reconsidering a more judicious way of interacting and engaging with the environment around us. And so it all begins with the way we think, the way we look at the world, the way we see it, the way we see the natural resources around us. So this is something that we have been able to hear, we have been able to listen to, listening to all of you talking and all your arguments and your rebuttals. And so at the end of the day, it places a huge responsibility on all of us as human beings to be more judicious in the way we make use of the resources that the earth is providing for us. Even as we are talking about whether the world will be a better place without humans, we have started to think that we can now colonize Mars, and after Mars, we do not know which other planet we will be thinking of. So this is something that we as human beings need to really deliberate on, think, and come up with a plan on how best we can interact with the earth and nature and engage with it so that we are mutually benefited by the interaction and by the engagement that we have with each other. So I think we have come almost towards the end of our program. And now we would like to go over to the results. I think the results are ready. So I have just received the result on WhatsApp, and I will try and look at this. I think I have a problem with my phone. Anyway, in a minute, I will make the announcement. Just give me another minute. In the meantime, I would like to request the organizing team, the Department of Botany, to make to propose their vote of thanks, and I will get ready with the result as soon as they finished. Over to you for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sir Jacob.
Thank you.
Is it proper to have a vote of thanks before declaration of the results?
I think not a problem, because that is the ultimate finale that we can have.
Oh, so keeping everybody on edge.
Yes.
Is it? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Jacob. So while you do the needful,
yes,
I would like to request Sir Nat. I have a problem. I cannot use my phone for this particular Zoom session. That is why my video will remain off. Please don't mind.
Okay, sir.
All right. So I would like to take this opportunity to request Professor A.K. Das, one of the senior faculty of the Department of Botany, St. Anthony's College, to now propose a vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Manik, for handing me over the last part of the session. And as it says, all is well that ends well. So I have to select. I had selected, I have to be pretty choosy in selecting the words so that I do not, dilute the, the entire session. So it was a wonderful session. And for me, at least, I have enjoyed it right from the very beginning. And to me, it's the first time that I am commemorating the World Environment Day on an online mode. And, speaking truly, I enjoyed it better than the other normal times where we had just few random planting of saplings and then just few words and then ending with a cup of tea. But here, many things have been highlighted. Many things we knew, but it was all scattered in our memory, and how these panelists have, woven them together and had at least, brought a clear picture of where we stand at this moment. And at some point of time, I'm in a dilemma that whether the Treasury bench or the opposition, who is more correct? Because I am moving from one side to the other side, trying to listen to the debate, and then every time any speaker says something, I keep on agreeing with what the fellow has said. Well, nature has its many manifestations it unfolds in many forms. And like pandemic, COVID-19, as some of the panelists have spoken, is also a manifestation of nature. And I opined with one or two of the speakers who said that the advantages of pandemic, because of lockdown, we humans, we are all indoors, and how nature flourished. I would just like to add one more thing to that. That because of this pandemic, we have all gathered together in the same platform. Many of us barely meet or will seldom meet, but all of us have come to this platform, and now we are no longer strangers to each other, right? Well, now the end part has come, so let me begin with thanking our principal, Brother Albert Longley Dakhar, for joining and encouraging us with his welcoming speech. He always supports us, and in this sort of endeavor, we always find, with us. And like when we have proposed, when the department has proposed such innovative program, he was all there with us. Thank you, brother, for giving your support. I thank Dr. C.S. Rao, the HOD of the department, for his presentation. And had it not been by constraint of time, I know he has got enormous resource material, and he could have gone for hours and hours without making us bored. And in this context, I still remember in one of the, in a program where we participated, our department was sinking because we did not have much of the material. And all of a sudden, I found Sir Rao had come with all his presentation, and immediately the mood of the audience changed. So he has got the material, but today, because of constraint of time, he has summarized everything. Even then, it was well presented. A special thank to Professor Jacob Shylla. And like I was watching you, sir, and thinking how good orator, how good speaker you are. And I was also wondering that if for one day you had been the speaker of our legislative assembly, okay, as one of the judges have said, one of our judges have said, our panelists are too civilized. But of course, the reverse is there in the assembly. How would have managed them? That I would wonder how you would have done it. But definitely, you would have managed well than many others. Thank you, sir, for becoming the moderator of this program. Our heartfelt thanks to and gratitude to the judges. We have Dr. Amanda Tongper, Professor Diomika Kharsyntiew, and our ex-student who spoke so well at the end, Ms. Eribami Humtsoe. They have spared their valuable time and have been with us for the entire day. And like if you are in the judge's seat, how difficult to judge. And when we have such good orators presenting their own views, like how difficult their situation is to give marks. And sometimes the marks are at a difference of 0.5 or half mark, 1 mark. So thank you, all the judges, for your encouraging words and your sparing the time to be with us. A big thank you to our esteemed participant professors from different states of the country, as well as professors and faculty from different departments of our college, plus the student participants from various institutions, including our university, Nehu, other colleges of Shillong, including students of our own college, and how they have tried to join. And initially we found that it was difficult to join, but how they struggled, what struggle they had to join in the Google Meet. Ultimately, they have been succeeded in getting to join it up. Now I congratulate our participants. Some of you, I have seen you in the college, and some of you, of course, not all, but some of you, I thought these people, do they know how to speak? But now when you're left all alone in front of the laptop or any such equipments, I found how well you all spoke. Only thing, what one of our judges said, there was a little bit of lacking of fire. If we had lit the fire, things would have been, exploded. Very nice, well spoken. I congratulate each one of you all. See, ready now, your results will be out. Losing or winning is just like your right hand and left hand. It is not a matter of concern. What is matter of concern is how you have participated, your active participation in the program. So I have really enjoyed the way you have presented your opinion, your views. I would also like to thank one of my colleague, Professor D. Bokwilial. He has been silently working behind the entire program till the last moment, how much effort he has taken to arrange it and organize it and to make sure that things run smoothly. Lastly, I would thank one of my dynamic colleagues, Professor Simli, Manik Simli, and we have all heard him, how well he has anchored the program and how well he has managed the technical glitches which appeared in the morning. But we have to also include Professor Nathaniel. Had it not been his support, the technical problems which we encountered in the morning, we would have been in a soup. But he was there all along, and how within a short period of time he has, changed the platform, and now the things went very, very smoothly. So thank you all. Thank you for participating and joining the program. Now I hand over it back to our anchor, Professor S.M. Simli. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir A.K. Das. And obviously, you cannot thank yourself since you are proposing the vote of thanks. So it is up to us, each and every one of us who are witness to this particular event today in the afternoon, the debate competition, as well as to the earlier talk delivered by Sir Rao. We want to thank you so much for your involvement today. And sir, it was your best vote of thanks ever. Thank you so much. And I would now like to hand over the time to Sir Jacob, who would like to make a few important announcements. Sir Jacob.
Thank you, Sir A.K. Das, and thank you, Sir Emily. It appears that we have 2 or 3 ties, which will make the declaring of the result right now a little bit difficult. There are at least 2 or 3 ties for best speaker, and another 2 or 3 ties for best team. So what we are going to do now is we are going to take a short recess. I will request all our panels of judges and to stay back online on Zoom platform. We will take a few minutes, and I will request all our participants and attendees to kindly leave the session, this event right now. You can join us back in another 15 to 20 minutes. So what we are going to do right now is we have to have a very short meeting on how to break the ties and what is the best way to come up with the results. Since all of you have done well, so there are ties with regards to the best speaker, the most promising speaker, and the best teams and the runners-ups. So what we are going to do now is we're going to have a meeting. So we'll request all of you participants, debaters, and attendees to kindly leave the Zoom platform for now. And I will request our judges to stay back so that we can have a very quick discussion on how to resolve this issue, and then we will get back to you guys. So give us at least 20 minutes in order to solve the problem, and then join us again using the same link and the same platform. All right. So see you guys. Take a break, 2 minutes. Yes, I think the live coverage should stop now. We will declare the results a little bit later. So we will not be able to declare the results right away. So the live coverage will have to come to an end, unfortunately, with every one of us sitting on edge as we resolve the ties and we come to a tiebreaker and come up with the results that will be most appropriate and according to the results and the performance of our students. Yes.
So Jacob, maybe we can all remain here while we, the judges, the panelists, take this we consult somewhere else.
All right, that's fine. We can come back maybe. All right. So if that is the case, all of you can stay back. Maybe you can take a cup of tea, turn off your video, turn off your audio, go have a cup of tea. In the meantime, we the judges will convene on WhatsApp group, and then we will we will have a conference call over WhatsApp, and then we will decide what to do. All right. So this is me, not signing off, but just turning off my video and my audio.
Yes, do turn your audio off.
I have always been very interested in such speaking competitions, and this is a great moment for me. Thank you so much. And also, I would like to thank my partner, Snigdha, from the 6th semester. We discussed a lot, and we could really do well. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay. And then now for the best speaker award, as adjudged by our panel of judges, Christina Lalsamwali. Where are you, Christina Lalsamwali? Let's give a clap for Christina Lalsamwali. Where are you? We want to see you. I think she's gone off to have Christina. Where are you? I think she's gone off to have tea. Somebody call her and tell her that she has won the best speaker award. All right, in the meantime, while we're looking for Christina, I would now like to make the announcement of the best teams. But I would like to first of all start with the honorable mention of a team that came so close to being the runners-up of today's team, missing by a 0.5 difference. And this is the team of Rikshita Bhattacharya and Warsam Kashung. So let's give a clap to this honorable mention, a team of Rikshita Bhattacharya and Warsam Kashung. Okay, very good job. You guys scored 38 only, and so you missed by 0.5 to become the second runners-up, the first runners-up. Sorry. Now, the first runners-up, or the runners-up, sorry, of this debate competition is scoring a total point of 38.5. Dikshita Mazumdar and Emmanuel Kyangte. Where are you? Dikshita Mazumdar and Emmanuel Kyangte. Let us give them a round of applause. Can we hear from them? All right.
Thank you very much, everyone.
That's great.
Okay, Emmanuel Kyangte and Dikshita Mazumdar, you have been adjudged as the runners-up team in this debate competition. Congratulations to you too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, now the best team, the champion of this debate competition is the team of Snigdha Saikia and Nilaf Akash Barua.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, you have
so
scored
much.
a total points of 41, combined points of 41. So Snigdha and Nilaf, congratulations on being adjudged the best team, the champion of this debate competition. And
Thank you so much,
with that,
sir. Thank you so much.
thank you. With that, we have come to the
Congratulations,
end.
Nilaf.
Yes, we have come to the end of this
Congratulations to you
debate
too.
competition. Much awaited, anticipated, expected, prepared for, and now it's done and over with. And we are very happy to have the results. Congratulations to the winners, and congratulations to all of you who have participated, given your heart and soul to present your arguments and your rebuttal. And we know that we have learned something from this debate. We are going to come back stronger. We're going to debate better, and we're going to give a rebuttal that will stand its stead. All right. So now I would also like to thank, on my behalf, on my own behalf, personal behalf, I would like to thank my colleagues, Amanda, Dayo, and Aaron Benny, for accepting my request from each one of them to be our judge, and they accepted the invitation without any hesitation, and they have done a good job and helping, especially in breaking the ties that we had this afternoon, and we have been able to successfully conclude the debate at this moment. So I would now like to hand over the rest of this time to
Sir Jacob, can we see if Christina has?
Yes, I would like to see Christina Lalsom Swali. I'm sorry, I'm massacring people's name.
It's Lalsom Wali.
Lalsom Wali. Can somebody call up Christina, please?
Well, never mind.
Okay. Anybody can contact Christina? Right, it appears as if she has, I think she's gone off, taken a break. So I'm handing it over back to the Department of Botany and to Professor Aimley for the concluding remarks, if any.
Thank you so much, Sir Jacob. Once again, thank you so much for being part and parcel of this debate competition. It wouldn't have happened as good as it happened without your being involved. Thank you so much
Thanks.
to the judges. All three of you, you have done a wonderful job, especially given the circumstances of having the ties, as Sir Jacob has mentioned. You have done a commendable job within a short span of time to make sure that we do get our winners, our most promising speaker, the best speaker, and the runners-up. Thank you so much. And at this moment, I would like to, before we close the program for the entire day, I would like to request our head of department, Professor C.S. Rao, to propose his concluding remarks. Sir.
Professor Kharsyntiew, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the judges there. Professor Jacob, especially, very big thanks to you and the team of judges, Madam Amanda, Madam Dayo, and Madam Erin Benny. The department is very grateful to them for accepting the judging of this particular event. This is a very, not a normal type of event. Rather, I was very much shocked actually that the good response we got. Being a pessimistic, I was not that happy initially that things may move nicely. But the response what we got, at least for my lecture, more than 400 participants joined, and that for this debate also. I am grateful and thankful to the college, to the principal, and to all my colleagues of the department. Special thanks goes to Professor Simli and Professor Bokalial, who is never shown here in the picture, but poor fellow, he's working from behind the screen. And I'm thankful to the college also. And we, at least it will be remembered for a long time to come of this World Environment Day celebration. And I'm thankful. And last but not the least, I'm very thankful to the participants, those who are prize winners and those who could not get any prize, but I'm sure that they have experienced a new venture, and I hope you will enjoy, and in the future also you will join and make this type of events a successful one. And once again, I thank the judges. Thank you very much. And Professor Jacob, special thanks to you. And I should not forget to thank Professor Nathaniel, with whom it is possible the whole show could go on. Otherwise, we are having a technical problems. And I am not a technical person. I don't know much about this. But the things went very well. And once again, thank you and God bless you all. And please take care of you and your family members. Thank you very much to all of you. Once again, namaste and Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And just before we end off, I would like to request Sir Bokulil. I think he would like to make a few announcements to the winners regarding the certificates and the prizes. Sir Bokulil, if you're there, please.
Okay, Shamani, actually I requested you to speak. Am I audible? I am having internet.
Yes, sir,
Am I
you're
audible?
audible. You are better. You're the better person because you know the details.
Okay. No, I have the email addresses of all the participants. So the certificate for participation will be sent to your emails. Those will be different from the certificate of participants participation of for the talk, and also the winners of this competition. A big congratulations to all of you. In fact, I wanted to tell you that all of you are winners for me. So we'll be contacting you very soon, maybe within 15 to 20 days. There will be a prize money for the winners. So we'll contact you, and how to give, how to hand it over to you, that we will decide, okay, after contacting you. But the certificate you will receive in your emails. Give us 1 or 2 days. Within 2 days, I think you will receive the certificates in your emails. So I'll also take this opportunity to apologize on behalf of the Google and also on behalf of the department, because the Google server was totally down in the morning. And because of that only, we had so much of problem. So especially the participants, I know that when you are going to participate in a competition like this, you are so tense. And above that, if you have to run from here to there to change the different platform, it's very taxing, I know. So on behalf of Google, actually, I want to apologize. And a big thank you from my side. Sir Jacob, I have traveled you a lot in last 4-5 days. Then Madam Amanda, Madam Deomika, and Madam Erin Belly. Heartfelt thank you to you from my side. Thanks to all. Over to you, Samani.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Bokolil. And with these final parting words, I would like once again, very big thank you to all Anthonians, to all non-Anthonians from across the country who have been viewing this either through the Zoom meet or through the live stream on YouTube. We have had a wonderful time. Thank you so much. Your presence was very worthwhile. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank
you. Thank you, sir. Nathaniel, if you can hear me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Signing off.
Yes, sir.